By the way, we're still entertaining it. We're talking to some of the best lawyers out there that are experts in this. And as you know, these things can be very complicated. There's a lot of facts and circumstances around it. But we're not going to let this go, because you should not be able to smear 5,000 high school and college kids and then just be able to walk away with it.
You let them in.
President, open your
You let them in and you knew what they were.
Right.
So you are complicit. I want to make a quick clarification about the neo at the Turning Point event. They were outside protesters. My point was more metaphorical, that you embraced them at your thing, I felt.
All right, buckle up, because we're diving into a moment so spicy it could make a jalapeno blush. Picture this: Whoopi Goldberg, daytime TV royalty, sitting pretty on The View, dropping hot takes like they're confetti. Then, out of nowhere, Charlie Kirk, yes, that Charlie Kirk, shows up with a verbal flamethrower and flips the script so hard it leaves the internet gasping. This isn't just another talk show spat, it's a cultural earthquake. Want to know what Charlie said that had Whoopi looking like she just got an error message from her teleprompter? Stick around, because this one's got more twists than a Netflix thriller, and we're breaking it all down. Hit that like button if you're ready for the tea.
Charlie Kirk's the founder and CEO of Turning Point USA and the author of the new book, The College Scam. So, Charlie, do you accept The View's apology?
I mean, regardless of whether or not I accept it, the question is, do our students accept it? That's really what's at heart here. They went after our 5,000 students at our event there, of high school and college kids. And look, I get attacked all the time. People say false things. I'm a public figure. But when you go after 16 and 17-year-olds that travel from across the country, that then have to live for the rest of their life with a shadow over them.
Let's set the scene. The View is like the Coliseum of daytime TV. Glossy, loud, and packed with applause cues that hit harder than a stadium wave. Whoopi Goldberg's been ruling this arena for years, dishing out opinions with the confidence of someone who's never been fact-checked. Her vibe, untouchable. Her throne, cushioned by a loyal audience and a clap track that's basically a hype man in audio form. But then, Charlie Kirk, the guy who runs Turning Point USA like it's a debate club on steroids, decides he's had enough. He's not storming the studio, no. He's not even in the same zip code. He's just chilling with a mic, a camera, and a stack of receipts thicker than a phone book. And when he hits record, the internet grabs its popcorn. So what kicked this whole thing off? Rewind to a sunny day in Tampa, where Turning Point USA's Youth Summit is pulling in 5,000 high school and college kids. These aren't just any kids. They're spending their summer, their own money, traveling across the country to hear conservative speakers. Gas prices, sky high, flights, don't even check your bank account. But these kids are there, hyped, ready to engage. Meanwhile, over on The View, Whoopi drops a take so wild it's like she forgot Google exists. She lumps these students in with some outside protesters. Yep, the kind waving signs on public grounds, not even inside the event, and paints them with a brush so broad it could cover a billboard.
Welcome back. You know, in Monday's conversation about Turning Point USA, I put the young people at the conference in the same category as the protesters outside. And I don't like it when people make assumptions about me, and it's not any better when I make assumptions about other people, which I did. So, my bad. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So,
Charlie catches wind of it, and oh boy, he's not letting that slide. Charlie Kirk doesn't do shouting matches. He doesn't need to. He's got this calm, surgical energy, like a chef slicing onions so clean you don't even cry. On his podcast, he unpacks Whoopi's claim with the precision of a bomb squad. These kids, he says, are 16, 17, busting their butts to be here, and you're smearing them with zero evidence? He pulls out stats, timelines, and logic so tight it could tie a bow on Mount Everest. No yelling, no drama, just a crystal clear breakdown that makes you go, wait, did she really say that? The internet agrees. Clips start flying, Twitter threads pop off, TikTok stitches go feral. It's not just a response, it's a masterclass in calling out nonsense without breaking a sweat.
Reason they felt they needed to do that, Jesse, is because if they told their audience the truth, that when gas is the most expensive it's been, flights are super expensive, that 5,000 kids decided to spend a weekend in summer traveling across the country to go hear from conservative speakers, maybe the audience of The View would think twice about all of their ideas. That's why they felt so compelled to try to smear our wonderful summit this last week.
Fast forward to Monday, and The View is in damage control mode. Whoopi steps up with an apology, and it's, well, let's call it a half-calf latte, weak, quick, and not quite satisfying. I shouldn't have lumped those kids in with the protesters, she says, before the show cuts to commercial faster than you can say PR nightmare. But here's the thing, apologies don't erase the internet's memory. That clip of Charlie's takedown, it's racking up views like a cat video on steroids. Reddit's digging through Whoopi's old takes like they're archaeologists. Instagram Reels are looping it with captions like, "She got cooked." And Charlie, he's not done. He's got lawyers circling, talking lawsuits because smearing 5,000 kids isn't just a bad take. It's a legal landmine. Why did this moment land like a meteor? It's not just because Charlie's got a knack for viral clips. It's because he tapped into something bigger. People are tired of polished TV hosts tossing out claims like they're gospel. No receipts required. Tired of applause drowning out logic. Charlie didn't just call out Whoopi, he called out the whole machine. The glossy sets, the pre-approved takes, the audience trained to clap on cue. He showed you don't need a studio or a glam squad to make waves. All you need is Wi-Fi, facts, and the guts to say what everyone's thinking. And when he did, the internet didn't just watch, it amplified. Memes, stitches, edits, you name it. The vibe shifted and Whoopi's throne started wobbling.
Her disgusting, gross elitism and her complete out of touch nature with respect to the rest of the world. Sunny Hostin goes on The View and decides now would be a great time to dump all over the so-called uneducated.
What we did not have is white women who voted about 52%, right, for Donald Trump. Uneducated white women, is my understanding. You have Latino men actually voting more for him, and you have and black men was not the story. We're not the story here because they voted almost 80% for the vice president.
Right.
Just because you didn't go to college doesn't mean you're stupid, and it doesn't mean that you don't have wisdom. You can go to college and get a bunch of irrelevant facts about how men can allegedly give birth or whatever they
Let's talk about the real MVP here, the internet. Once Charlie's clip hit, it was like tossing a match into a digital wildfire. YouTubers dropped reaction videos with titles like "Charlie Kirk ends the view." TikTok creators stitched their own takes, some serious, some savage. Reddit threads turned into detective novels, with users cross-referencing Whoopi's claims against, well, reality. Even folks who hadn't watched The View since flip phones were a thing suddenly had opinions. Why? Because Charlie's calm, fact-driven takedown wasn't just a moment, it was a movement. It proved you don't need a big platform to shift the narrative. You just need the truth and a decent upload speed.
I mean, there was this turning point conference with all the smoke. What are they, smoking something down there? Or it's like, whatever. Anyway, they were out there. Were in the front of out there in front of the conference with anti-Semitic slurs.
Whoa, the drama. Charlie Kirk's organization, Turning Point USA, threatened to sue The View. And let me tell you, the nonsense that ensued is really something.
Here's where it gets juicy. This wasn't just about Whoopi or Charlie. It was about what The View represents. A bubble where hot takes reign supreme and pushback is as rare as a unicorn. For years, hosts like Whoopi could say whatever, and the audience would clap like trained seals. But Charlie's clip cracked that bubble wide open. Suddenly, viewers weren't just nodding along, they were questioning. Wait, did she just make that up? Why is no one fact-checking this? The studio's energy shifted, the laughs got quieter, the punchlines felt forced. Even the producers seemed to dial back the spicy takes, like they knew the internet was watching with a magnifying glass. That's the power of a quiet takedown. It doesn't just hit, it lingers. This whole saga isn't just a spicy internet feud, it's a wake-up call. Daytime TV, with its shiny sets and scripted outrage, has been coasting on charisma for too long. But in a world where anyone can fact-check with a smartphone, that old playbook doesn't work anymore.
Sean, something that struck me in the cease and desist letter was the sentence that specifically The View host insidiously and cavalierly stated that TPUSA let the neo into its event, metaphorically embraced them, and it went on. Insidiously and cavalierly. And I felt that perfectly summed up exactly what those women were saying, which is something so deeply toxic and also so lightly thrown out there.
And so false. I mean, these were protesters outside of the event, right? They couldn't get in. These were not neo-Nazis Inside of Turning Point USA, they were protesting outside on public grounds, and Turning Point tried to remove them.
Charlie Kirk didn't need a guest spot or a shouting match to make waves. He just needed a camera and the truth. And when he dropped it, the audience didn't just hear him, they saw the cracks in the system. The applause machine doesn't hit the same when you realize it's all smoke and mirrors. This wasn't red versus blue or left versus right. It was logic versus fluff, and logic brought a bazooka. Alright, let's bring this home with a bang.
Think if a liberal came to speak at University of Kentucky, they'd give an open mic like I just did to a conservative and had a discussion like this.
I certainly hope they would.
No, they wouldn't. Because speech is not a left-wing value. That is why they have to deploy shock troops called Antifa to go after everywhere I go. When I go to University of California, Davis next week, there has to be 120 police officers because of the threats, the violent threats of liberals that want me dead, that want to disrupt our events. There are no right-wing hecklers that come to events like this. I think it's rather clear there's one side that is trying to do everything they can to shut one side up, and one side that's trying to open up the marketplace of ideas. And I think that's rather self-evident.
This moment, this wild, unexpected clash between Whoopi Goldberg's daytime empire and Charlie Kirk's fact-fueled missile isn't just a blip on the radar. It's a full-on cultural reset, and you're part of it. Think about it. For years, shows like The View have been untouchable, coasting on charisma, applause tracks, and takes that sound good but crumble under a quick Google search. But now, the game's changed. Charlie didn't need a fancy set or a guest chair to shake things up. He just needed a mic, a camera, and the kind of clarity that cuts through noise like a hot knife through butter. And when he dropped that truth bomb, the internet didn't just watch, it ran with it. Clips went viral, memes multiplied like roaches in a forgotten pizza box. TikTok creators turned it into a stitching frenzy with captions like, "Whoopi's face when facts hit." Even your grandma's cousin who hasn't touched YouTube since Gangnam Style probably saw this clip in a forwarded WhatsApp message. But here's the real question. What happens next? Whoopi's back on The View, delivering her takes with that signature head tilt, maybe a little less swagger in her step. The studio's still shiny, the audience still claps, but the vibe, it's off. The curtain's been pulled back, and once you see the wires and pulleys behind the Wizards act, you can't unsee it. Those applause breaks don't hit the same when you know the script's been fact-checked by a dude in a hoodie with a podcast setup in his basement. And that's the beauty of this moment. It's not just about Charlie or Whoopi. It's about you, the viewer, realizing you don't have to swallow every hot take whole. You've got a phone, a brain, and Wi-Fi. You can dig for the truth yourself. So, what's your move? This isn't the end of the story, it's the start of a bigger one. If you're as fed up with recycled talking points and manufactured outrage as we are, let's keep this wave going. Hit that like button like it's a punching bag at the gym. Smash that subscribe button so hard it leaves a dent. Drop a comment below and tell us, did Charlie Kirk just cook The View for breakfast? Or is Whoopi still the queen of daytime TV? Maybe you've got your own story about a time you saw through the media, smoke and mirrors. Share it. Let's turn the comments into a digital town hall where we trade receipts, not just shade. And if you're feeling extra spicy, share this video with that one friend who still thinks TV hosts are the ultimate arbiters of truth. Let's see how long it takes them to start Googling. Oh, and one more thing, stick around till the end of this video because we're dropping a bonus breakdown next week on another TV moment that got the internet in a chokehold. Want a hint? It involves a politician, a viral clip, and a comeback so savage it deserves its own Oscar category. You don't want to miss it. So ring that notification bell because we're just getting started. The truth doesn't need a studio, a glam squad, or a clap track. It just needs you. Let's keep the conversation alive. Let's keep the facts flowing. And let's make sure the next time someone tries to slide a flimsy take past us, we're ready with the receipts. Who's with me? I'll see you in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next one.